The Studio Cuts Podcast with WRRV.
This is the Studio Cuts Podcast with 92.7, 96.9 WRRV. What's going on? It's Val. And man, what a treat do we have for you. I was so lucky to be able to sit down with none other than Avril Lavigne, talk the new album, talk about her new song featuring Travis Barker, an upcoming tour, all of it. We covered it. Take a listen. It's Avril Lavigne on the Studio Cuts Podcast.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. We're so excited to talk to you about the new music.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk to you as well.
Wonderful. So are you at home in Malibu?
Yes.
Okay. And I guess I wanted to start with, did you spend a lot of your time, like the COVID time, at home?
Yes. During that time, I pretty much moved out there and and that was exciting. So moving, I love moving actually. It's always just like a really good change, especially when you're stuck at home.
There's so many people saying like, oh, moving is awful, but I guess like it's a fresh start. It's new things.
Yeah, I love moving. I feel like I move like every 5 years, every 4 years.
This is the house that you actually have the half pipe in the backyard?
It is, yes. And that was fun too. I got a half pipe, and it's like a little tiny one. It's like a mini one. It's not even a full one. And yeah, when I got it, I reached out to Tony Hawk and asked him if he wanted to come over and have a barbecue and like film with me on it, because I thought it'd be cool to film a TikTok, and I had never done that before, and I was like, that'll be epic. Tony Hawk with Skater Boy. And then he showed me how to use it for the first time. I dropped in. I know it's crazy, I haven't done that, but like also like I was skateboarding in high school doing all that stuff. Then I got out on the road. When I moved to Malibu was when I really bought like my first like beach cruiser, which was fun because they have like boardwalks out there. But yeah, he taught me how to drop in, and it was actually really easy.
Do you find yourself out there using it, or it was like Tony Hawk was here, we did this, and this is fun to have in my backyard?
Yeah, we do. We have parties. Like my boyfriend uses it a lot. Well, when we first got it, he used it a lot, and then like his band and some of our friends. And yeah, like I messed around on it a bunch over the summer.
That's awesome. We loved seeing that TikTok video. And then your recent involvement with TikTok, with the Bing Bong TikTok, how did all of that kind of happen?
I was at an event the other day, a Variety Hitmakers brunch, and Little Nas came over to me and asked me to be on his TikTok. So he arranged that. Little Nas is responsible for arranging that.
But there were so many, like, it was like such a wide collection of people like, oh my God, and oh my God, to see on that TikTok was incredible.
Well, it was kind of genius of him because we were at an event that was like honoring a bunch of different artists, the Variety Hitmakers. So like I had at my table Lana Del Rey and Olivia Rodrigo, and then he had like a bunch of other artists at his table. So he just like went around to everyone and like created the TikTok, which was kind of genius.
It was awesome. Definitely, yeah. I would call it genius. You mentioned Olivia Rodrigo. I was reading some of the stuff you had said about her and about her being an honest voice to her young female fans. And you said that her album was a major return for rock and roll in the charts, which, like, as somebody who's been in this business for a while, that's what we think about you. So what was it like to be with an up and coming who just really broke through this year?
Yes. And that's what's crazy. Like, she's so young, and she was telling me that she hasn't been on tour before. And so I was giving her like a little bit of advice, and I told her, I'm like, it's actually really fun, and being on a tour bus is fun. And if you can ever, like take a couple friends with you, it's like, you can get homesick out there. So that's always helpful, having like a friend or someone with you. And she was just really sweet. But yeah, like I gave her the Songwriter of the Year award um, for the Variety Hit Makers. And yeah, she's just so sweet. She's so young. She's been doing this for a long time, and she's like a true songwriter. She writes about her stuff that she's going through, and that's why she's so successful. I think because um, it's quite relatable what she's hitting on and how she's saying it all and expressing herself, and also she's like reaching like a younger generation and an older demographic, and that's like I think probably like really unique, and that's like what's awesome about what she's doing right now.
We agree. So you just mentioned touring and bringing people out on tours so you don't get homesick. You're about to head out on a pretty big tour. First question is, we didn't see any US dates, so can we expect those to be added?
Yeah,
Yes.
everything. Yeah, I'll be doing the US for sure. We're working on that now, and that's the thing, like with my tour this year, I was like, okay, I just want to have like you want to have like cool bands and fun bands like opening or just like touring with different people that are like really a good time that you can party with backstage. No, I'm totally kidding.
That's awesome though.
I don't know. I don't even party on tour anymore. But really you want to, it's nice when you have songs with the bands that you're touring with, so it can be like a party up on stage, and you can like call up your buddy, and then like in the past I had I would get up on the drums and play, and then like one of the singer from the opening band would come up and sing, or like I'm taking out Grandson and Modson on my Canadian tour that's happening in May, and like Maud and I have a song together, so like it'll be fun to pull him up on stage and perform together. So yeah, it's nice because it's nice when you can tour with your friends, because it's just like a celebration of music, and you guys all have that in common. And who knows, maybe there'll be more writing backstage.
That's awesome. We worked with Grandson, I want to say it was the spring, and had him do like a digital concert for our listeners. What talent. So I was really excited to see that you were going on tour with Grandson. What can fans expect on the tour? Obviously, there's a new album coming out in early 2022. So I'm curious to know like what more collaborations on this album, your first with Travis's label. What can we expect?
Well, there's a couple there that I can't talk about quite yet.
Okay.
But I'm really excited for the world to hear them. I got to work with some really exciting people who just brought out some magic out of the songs. Like one of the collaborators is MGK, and then there's a few more, but it was a ton of fun for me to just get in the studio with these other artists. And so I have a few features on this album, and just everybody's energy and talent just, yeah, it took it to the next level for me. So it's like, because normally, I mean, I haven't had this many features on a record. So it's going to be fun live, and like meeting up with my different like friends on the road and pulling them up on stage or whatever.
What was it like collaborating with MGK?
He's really talented, and he's a great songwriter. And he walked into my session with holding a guitar, sat down, and came in with an idea. And I was like pretty blown away by his talent. I was like, he's a really great songwriter.
This is totally off the top of my head, but like, do you go into those sessions with the ability for the people that you're collaborating with to just bring their own ideas to the table? Or are you normally like, this is the direction I'd like to go in?
It's different every time. Like I met with him and played him the songs that I had for my album, so he knew the direction.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, usually if you walk into a songwriting session, like it's nice to have a concept, and he had a concept. Also, like we were all ready to just like, wing it and come up with stuff on the spot. And then like I went home after and like, wrote my part, one of my verses. And so we worked in the studio, I'd say like 3 days.
Wow, that
One
quick.
of them was I think the day after Christmas. Yeah. It's like we all had that day off, so it was like, okay, let's get in.
So this has been a while in the works. I know that I read that during COVID, when you were home, you were writing like kind of just for you, not for anybody else, just taking the time to write for you. But you've been putting the work into this new album and your collaborations for a while.
Yeah, well, it was really nice because, like, the one good thing about, during the time in the pandemic was for me was that I was able to really like focus on myself and my art and just like sort of reflect and like write all these songs. Like, I think I wrote like 30 songs and made this album that I've been wanting to make for forever. And like, it just all kind of came together really nicely. Like, I've known Travis for years. I've worked with him before, and I started the album without any deadlines or people telling me what direction to go in, and because I didn't have a label at the time, um, and so I started this, and I started making the record with like Travis and Feldman and Maud and like all my other collaborators, and really it was just like just having fun and just like writing like a ton of like up tempo, like rock inspired pop punk pop rock songs. And then Travis and I were like, Travis was like, let's put this out on my label, and like we like really connected musically on this album, so that made sense. And this whole process has just been like a lot of fun.
I think what's nice on our end is when we got to preview the song and we added it as a feature on our new music show, our listeners were like, it's Avril like we know her, like, 'cause it's just that classic sound. And then to have Travis featured on the track was just such a great reception. You've been doing the promotional route with it, the incredible performance on Fallon. We've watched that here like over and over again. We're like, and look at that, and look at that. So what's the initial reception of the new track?
It feels like a good vibe. Like everyone's enjoying it. I've been having so much fun performing with the boys, and yeah, we've done like 3 TV shows already. It's different now because like we're like in the pandemic, so we're not like some studios we can go into, some we can't. But we just get as creative as we can when we have to like pre-tape it off site. And like the music video was a ton of fun. I shot it with Hannah Lux Davis. I mean, partially it was a lot of fun because I just kept falling all day because I had these like big heel boots on, and I just like wiped out so many times, which made me just like laugh really hard. Like one time I walked out of my trailer and I just dropped down. Instead of like even walking down the stairs, I just like fell through the hole. And it was like a big fall, and I was okay, but it was just so funny. I like laughed at myself. I'm not even kidding you, for 5 hours. And then like Travis shows up on set of the video, and I was like telling him how I fell and just like laughing about it. And then we were doing like our performance setup, and so like I'm playing guitar and he's behind me playing drums, and like we're shooting a video, and I literally fell. Like I never fallen this much at all. And so I said to him, I was like, did you see that? Like, that was so embarrassing. And he was like, oh, I thought you meant to do that. Like, just like, that I was on the floor rocking out. And I was like, cool.
Oh my God. Did it make the cut, or are those like the behind the scenes that we won't see?
No, but I really want to see all my falls. And then like in the music video, we like break into my ex-boyfriend's house for me to kind of tell him off. And so we bust into the house, and I'm like all serious. And then I fell again during that part.
Fun.
So hopefully I don't fall during a live performance, but if I do, I'll just laugh it off.
At least you're surrounded by people who are like, we can laugh at this. Like, this is It is what it is, right?
Like, I was literally like glad I fell because it just made me laugh so much. But yeah, the whole album cycle's been super fun. We just performed our the single promotion. We just performed on Ellen, Corden, and uh, Fallon. Wait, what was it?
I saw Ellen and
Yeah,
Fallon.
yeah, and yeah. So it's been fun, and the song is a good time.
With
Kind
regard,
of like a representative of the rest of the album. The album's just like up tempo and it's like fierce and like I went into this album just like over love and I was like, I need a minute. And so I talked to the guys about that and we just like really went there lyrically and hashed that out for me. And like most of it's like revenge songs or like love gone wrong, but it's all sort of it's in like a light, playful way.
love it. We can't wait to hear it. Will you be doing anything special on tour to celebrate 20 years? Which is wild for
Um,
me to think of. 20 years, I'm sure you too, of your debut album.
yeah, it's crazy, right? Um, yes, I'm getting a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame, and that's like a huge honor, and I'm really excited about that. And then we're figuring out some fun stuff to do now to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the first record. Yeah, that'll be in the summer.
One of the questions I had, and it's funny you mentioned the Walk of Fame. Do you know who will do your induction speech?
I don't know. I don't know yet. No, we haven't thought that far.
Is that something that you get to say, like, I want this person, or like,
I hadn't thought about it until you just brought it up. I didn't know like I could pick that. Like I don't even know. I haven't even been to one before, but it would be really funny. Like after I have the star, if like I just like go visit it and there's like people taking pictures with it, and I'm like, yo, you want to take a picture with the star? Or, do you want me to take a picture of you with it?
could you imagine?
My first trip to Hollywood. Let's see, how old was I? Probably 16. I have a photograph of me laying on the Hollywood Boulevard taking a photo with someone's star. Oh my god, I can't even remember whose star it is. Yeah. That's like kind of the thing everybody does is and anytime I had like my family come to town, we'd go to Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, you have to, right? I remember going out there and taking pictures with like random people. Oh my God. And then you have a whole reel of these random photos of people's handprints, right?
Yeah.
That'll be, I mean, what an honor, especially with the 20th anniversary coming up. Selfishly, I would love to know, and I know this is going back a couple of years, but being part of the Metallica tribute, when I am having a day and I need like something to pump me up, I listen to your cover of Fuel. And it has always been such a song that like, okay, I'm ready to go now. So what was it like, one, to put that song together, and two, do it in front of Metallica?
That was definitely a top career moment for me performing at a Metallica MTV Icon. Yeah, like I performed the song Fuel off of Reload and yeah, I mean, I was nervous. I was like, I have to do this well. And like, it was interesting performing like such like a heavy song as a female too at the time. I know that my band were super nervous, but the guys are so nice. And like I've run into them many times throughout my career. I'd say they're kind of like one of the coolest bands. And like I really hit it off with Lars. Like we were hanging out backstage. And yeah, it was just like a huge honor. It was a massive moment for me. Definitely a top moment in my career.
That's amazing. It's, again, one of my favorites. And I have to tell you, this is like a career highlight for me. I still cannot believe that I'm sitting here talking to you right now. As someone who's
Aw.
listening to your music for so long, I'm so excited that we have been able to be a part of the release of the new album. And the new song is heating up here, and we're just so excited for you. And again, like, what an honor this has been. I can't tell you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. And we're so excited to see what's next in the next year for you, and can't wait for you to get those US tour dates to us.
Yes. So excited.
Again, thank you so much.
Thank you for your support.
Anytime.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Can't thank her enough. Avril Lavigne, the Studio Cuts podcast with 92.7, 96.9 WRRV. We look forward to her new album in February. You can hear her new song, Bite Me, featuring Travis Barker, right here on the Hudson Valley's Alternative. 92.7, 96.9 WRRV. I'll catch you next time.
The Studio Cuts podcast with WRRV.